right, guys, we are in our next campground. We are at Spaniard Creek Campgrounds. I'm going to give you a tour, show you some of the best sites, and have a good look around. So we are at Spaniard Creek Campground. It is quite lovely here. Now this campground is quite a bit off the beaten path. We actually had a really long, windy, roundabout way to get us into here. We had a gravel road. We crossed the highway twice. It was really weird. So watch your GPS. It may not actually take you in the most efficient way. But once we finally got here, it is actually quite simple, but it is off the road a fair bit. One thing really important to watch about this campground is when you come in, you absolutely do not want to come in on the wrong side. Severe tire damage. We actually came in on the right side, but didn't realize until we were leaving that this side, if you try to come in on it, has road spikes. Why on earth anybody would do this? But that would hurt your tires. So absolutely make sure when you are coming into this campground, you come in on the right side. There are really great sites that are by the water. I recommend sites 22 to 29. They are all really great sites for by the water. We landed this site here, which is site 26, right by the water. Fire pit here, and a beautiful view where you can back your trailer in, so the back of your trailer is looking out at the water. It's just lovely. Nice straight sites. A couple of the sites are a little bit more awkward to get into. Some sites may not fit a full large trailer, so you do want to make sure you get a site that does fit your trailer, but there is hardly anyone here. There's maybe about 4 people in the entire park, and it's, I think, about 31 sites. If you're into fishing, you can fish from the shore. Make sure you do have your fishing license. If you're not from Oklahoma and you don't already have one, you will want to grab one. You can get those at your local Walmart. But the fishing here so far, my husband was able to catch a couple of little catfish, and I've also seen a lot of gar. I don't know if gar is your thing or not. I'm not a fisherman. There is a boat dock, so if you need to bring your boat and head out on the water, you can do so. Let's take a look down here. This is where the Arkansas River flows into this area here, which is Weber Falls Lake. There are washrooms, but I understand that they are not wheelchair accessible, and the roadways and the areas around the campground are not overly accessible. It is a gravel campground. There is a lot of bumps and stuff on the walkway, so if you have like anybody in a wheelchair, it might be a bit more difficult for you. There is a bit of highway noise that comes from the back of the campsite area. It really doesn't bother me. It just kind of melds into the background for me, but for some people that are really noise sensitive, that might bother you. So site 9 is a really nice site, but you can see that it doesn't have a lot of space. So if you have a really long unit, this might not be the right site for you unless you want to take off the vehicle and park it to the side. But it's a beautiful site because it backs onto the water, and you've actually got nobody on this side of you, but you do have somebody quite close on this side. This is another great site. This one is a 50 amp site, I do believe. This is site 21, also by the water. Nice, good access way for a trailer. So this is a great site, definitely for a smaller unit or one where you've got to disconnect again, but it literally puts you off into the bay all by yourself. So it's kind of neat. Bit of a sloping site though. And this is site 4. This is site 33. It's a really great site. I just love how it backs right onto the water here. This is kind of just a bit of a gully area, not really on the actual lake part, but just as quiet and really serene looking here. It has its own little dock there, so that's fantastic if you want to do some fishing just off the side there. I think that's really cute. Downside of Site 33 though is that it is a little bit closer to the highway noise, so I can hear it a bit more. It does have a long driveway. It's not bad driveway, but a bit of a bump at the end of the driveway. No sewer hookups on your campsite. They do have a dumping spot in the campground, but you can't hook up in your spot. Really great covered large gathering space over here, and there also is a kids park for those that have kids. And don't worry, if you don't own a boat, there are lots of little docks for you to fish off of. The campground is really full of beautiful large trees, so this is great for those that really like that feeling of being off in the woods, not in the open fields. I have an attendant on site, but what we actually had to do was just pick up a form in this booth here, and then we put our check in there. They take check or cash, and be prepared to have exact change handy if you're doing in cash. But you can also see an attendant to just check in and make sure that you can get your site. They are camped out in a space that you can tell that they look like they live there a bit more than the average camper. Here's the check-in spot, and you leave your payment here. And they even have, like if you're going boating, they have some life jackets that you can borrow, which I thought was pretty neat. Can't book this one online or in advance. We couldn't find a phone number to call ahead or anything like that. This is one that you do have to show up and look for a spot and fill out the paperwork and get your spot that way. Based on what we've seen for the comments already, the reviews that other people have made, it doesn't seem like it's a very busy campground, so your odds are very good that you'll get a spot, but do have a backup plan just in case. I wouldn't try and arrive here at the very last minute when other campsites might close up on you. You are about 20 minutes away from any major town, but in that town there are tons of shopping options, including Walmart. There are numerous restaurants. I enjoyed getting some chicken wings. So it's a really good little town when you want to pick up something for the camper. I think we were absolutely blown away by the number of dispensaries there were. We counted, I think, up to 9. But for a small town, I just thought that was a lot. But super interesting for sure. Dollar General is not far away. It's about 10 minutes away. So if you need something just quick, you can get something a little bit closer from the Dollar General. There are some things to see in town. We didn't get to, my husband said there was a music museum we didn't get to see. So if you have a chance, check that out. Its hours are limited, so check that in advance. I think they closed at 2 today, so we missed it. And there are some nice little antique shops in there. We enjoyed looking through some of those. Don't be surprised if you get the odd little friendly visitor. And it is pet friendly, right, Peaches? Is it pet friendly? Yes, it is. Oh, that's right. You're so good. Overall, guys, I really like this campground. I think the main thing I love about it is just the spots near the water. You can sit here and definitely feel like you are taken away for a weekend or, weekday if that's what it is. So it's a lovely campground, very quiet other than the little bit of traffic noise that you hear, but honestly, it doesn't bother me. So a great place to camp. So if you're in the area in Oklahoma, Spaniard Creek Campground is lovely. Hidden gem out of the way. Awesome, you guys. If you have any questions, put them down below. Happy camping.